YouTube. Legendmaster here with a new video, and unfortunately I still don't really have a way to record my X and Y videos in a way that's feasible, and so they'll be high def. So right now I'm still having to rely on what I got. So there we have it. Anyway, this match was quite an interesting one, and we'll get right into it, assuming, oh, there we are. Assuming we can get into the actual battle. Anyway, I lead with High Dragon, and I don't want to overpredict. Go smash with the Fire Blast, and that is one thing I really get kind of annoyed about with Showdown, is the fact that you don't choose which side is which. I'm on the top right corner, switching to Gastrodon, predicting the Scald, and I go for my own Scald, trying to get a Scald burn on whatever comes in, figuring he probably doesn't want to leave his Vaporeon in. And now with Ferrothorn, I'm just going to Magic Bounce whatever decides to throw my way. Now this is an odd Espeon. It's actually a mix between offense and defense. It's kind of like an endgame sweeper, yet staller. So it's actually kind of a nice set. It's got Calm Mind and Morning Sun, so it stays pretty healthy, and it can take special hits pretty well once it gets a couple Calm Minds up. Anyway, it also, as you can see, does a really nice job of kind of walling Ferrothorn. And that is definitely a nice thing. And after I get another Calm Mind up, he'll pretty much be forced to switch. But he is definitely determined to try to keep on hitting my Espeon, so I can't really do anything else besides Morning Sun. But Power Whip does have a chance of missing, and it does tend to do so, so that happens. And in comes the Vaporeon. As I'm able to set up a second Calm Mind, I can't lose Vaporeon because of that. I can't lose my Espeon while he still has Ferrothorn, because I can't afford to get the injury hazards up. So I'm just going to keep on switching back in Espeon whenever he brings the Ferrothorn in, and my Gastrodon deals with his Vaporeon really well. So I'm just going to basically sit there between those two walls whenever he tries to wall me with them. So that works out really nicely for me, and just weakening his Ferrothorn while I can as well, because that's the only way you're really going to be able to beat down a Ferrothorn, is just wear it out slowly. And by the amount of damage I'm doing, he's probably a physically defensive Ferrothorn, but that, or he's got some offensive prowess to him. But anyway, in comes Talonflame, and I'm in a little bit of trouble because Talonflame does threaten my team pretty well with its dual stabs. Gastrodon can't take the hits, unfortunately. This is especially defensive, and I predict the switch, or I predict the next Brave Bird, so I'm just going to go into Klefki, which can take a hit from either side and smack with the T-Wave because of that paralysis, and be in pretty good situation. But he actually does go into his Salamence, and I'm able to paralyze it, which will come into play a little bit. But for now, we just got what we got, and we're back to the Ferrothorn and Espeon walling thing, and I go ahead and switch into Klefki just to try to get some stuff going on. But he goes back in his Vaporeon. I'm going to protect just to get some more HP back. And this match just goes on and on. It's ridiculous. But now I'm able to bring in my Gastrodon, get some recovery thanks to leftovers, get the attack boost, and recover up back to pretty much full. But in comes Ferrothorn. I don't want to eat a Power Whip. I need my Gastrodon. But he predicts very nicely, goes into Kangaskhan, and this thing is a problem. I'm going to go back into Klefki, though, because the priority Thunder Wave will really come in handy. Get it, and unfortunately I do lose Klefki, but at least I get the Mega Kangaskhan paralyzed. But I forget about Sucker Punch, and down goes Staraptor, and normally it does a ton of work. Unfortunately, this time it doesn't get to do anything, and so I just go right into High Dragon and go for the stab. Draco Meteor, do as much damage as I can, and then finish it off with the Earthquake, even though he tried to Sucker Punch me to death, which could have worked out really well for him, but unfortunately it didn't. That could have been a really bad thing, that Mega Kangaskhan, but thankfully I took it all right, and sure, I lost a couple Pokemon to it, but I managed to come out on top in the end on that little disagreement. But now we're back to the walling thing, and part of the reason this is because I lost my best wall breaker in Staraptor, which really is such a great wall breaker, and get Talonflame drained quite a bit, and I really don't want to stay in and lose my Espeon because of that Ferrothorn still being around. So I'm going to Scald, Gastrodon, back to Espeon, get some recovery, go back to Gastrodon, back and forth, back and forth. Oh boy, that's such a pain. But in comes the Ferrothorn again, just go back into Espeon, dodge a Power Whip, which is great, and mispredicted a little bit there. I've been trying to get the paralysis off or the toxic off for a while with Gastrodon on the Vaporeon, but I haven't had a chance. That I kind of came to the conclusion about turn 20, 30-ish, that I could, if I just get the toxic off on it, I'd be alright. But I keep on predicting him to switch back into his Ferrothorn to try to get a Power Whip off. But now I know he's going to switch, just don't know what to what, and so I'm just going to go for the Scald again because of that wish telling me that he was going to switch. And now I can just go for the straight-out Ice Beam, take out Salamence, take no damage, in comes Ferrothorn again, and we're looking alright now. Now that Salamence is dead, things are looking okay. Sure, I'm down one extra Pokemon, but he can't set up hazards because of my Espeon bouncing anything he tries to set up back to him. And now I finally get the Toxic off, knowing that he's not going to switch, and now Vaporeon will die, which means I do have that advantage too. In comes another Wish. I know he's going to switch, I just don't know when to what. So I'm going to go for the Scald, hoping he goes into his Talonflame, but he actually goes into Starmie, but I get it burned, which is great. And I'm specially defensive, so I don't really fear anything Starmie's got, and so I'm able to smack it a couple times, get some, and now I'm able to recover back up to full with my Gastrodon, and then switch back out into Espeon, and keep on blocking this Ferrothorn from being useful, basically. And my biggest problem right now is the fact that he's got all these Power Whips. Once those are gone, Gastrodon technically could wall him too, but I don't want to do that, and in comes Talonflame, and this is a problem. So I have to let something take a really nasty hit, and Gastrodon is the choice I decide upon, unfortunately. And I do that because I figured if you roosted on the turn I switch, that's okay, because then I can just go ahead and smack with the Scald and take him out anyway, and survive. And if he just goes for the straight-up Brave Bird, he'd kill himself. If I stayed in with Espeon and Shadow Balled, that would be a problem, and at that point, I'm not sure why the ActiveX control decided to do that. I guess my computer's getting old. Anyway, back to the game. Keep on smacking along. Vaporeon slowly wearing it down, and that thing is so annoying. Scald, get my boost back, and now I can recover and be in good shape there as he switches into Ferrothorn, and I could have gone for the Scald, hoping to get the burn, but right now, I just wanted to get Espeon healed back up. Or, not Espeon. My Gastrodon healed back up. Finally get a special defense drop, and he predicts me to switch, but I don't. That or he's run out of Power Whips. And I really wasn't sure which, so I just kept on sitting there. And I figured he might be out of Power Whips, so I was like, well, this could be a good time to set up and sweep with stored power. But didn't look like it, so I decided to switch, because at this point I could probably sweep his team with like a +2, 3 Calm Mind boosted stored power and Shadow Ball combination, but I really can't afford trying to set that up, especially because Vaporeon has Roar, and so basically I'm just having to sit here and wait until the Vaporeon dies. Once it dies, I'm good, I'm fine. Smack with the Shadow Ball +1 as he wishes, and between that and the Toxic, even though he protects here, it means he will die really shortly. So I'm not looking too bad. And this means basically I have a chance of sweeping, but I did switch in Gastrodon as he forces me out with another Roar. But he ends the game there. And so that is the match, and man alive. Speaking at this speed definitely took a lot of effort. I was glad I did this narration. It definitely did help quite a bit. And I hope you had a little bit of fun with it, because that's kind of what this is about. Anyway, on an unrelated note, kind of related, is YouTube. I've noticed a lot of things that I'm not too happy about with YouTube. If my channel goes down, well, it goes down. I'll have some other source, and you can always check out my Twitter page. I'll always report something there if something important comes up, like, oh, I don't know, YouTube taking down all the copyrighted material, even if it's something like competitive battles. And I'll let you know what I do from there at that point as well. But for now, I'll continue to use YouTube, although I am really annoyed with the Google Plus thing, and then the other antics. If you really want to see all the details on that, there are plenty of people that see all the information on YouTube itself. Most of the community is pretty mad right now, and with good reason. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and talk to you next time.